46 points, 16 rebounds and 4 steals. These are the numbers put up by a 37-year-old man about to start his 20th year of work playing against people half his age. LeBron Raymond James. But this isn't the first time he's dominated against players half his age. He put up 50 points against the Washington Wizards, as well as put up 56 against the Golden State Warriors, a team that consisted of the greatest shooter of all time and arguably the best point guard ever, Steph Curry, the second best shooter ever, Klay Thompson, the perfect role player, Draymond Green, and 3 rising stars, the comebacker Jonathan Kuminga, the NBA's number 1 womanizer Jordan Poole, and JW himself, James Wiseman. LeBron's contract ends at the end of this season, but at 37 years old, can he keep going like this, and will he keep going like this? I doubt it. So the question is posed, when will LeBron retire? And I'm pretty sure I figured it out. Throughout the years, LeBron has given hints and messages all over, alluding to when he's dropping out of the game. With all of these, I can give a pretty accurate assumption as to when he's going to retire. Can I get to the day? No. But based on the things he said, I'm going to guess what year he's going to retire, and since his contract's up this year, I might even try to guess his next few contracts. There are 3 main things that indicate when he's going to retire: his free throws, the playoffs, and his son Bronny James. First, free throws. In a player that's considered almost perfect, this is the biggest weakness in his game. Currently, LeBron is a 75% career free throw shooter. In comparison to the rest of the NBA, they shot 73%, meaning the greatest player in the world, and arguably the greatest player ever, is average in comparison to his peers. LeBron said multiple times that he believes in his free throw potential. When he was in Miami, LeBron said that if he wanted to, he could easily join the 50-40-90 club. Keep in mind, 11 players in the NBA, NBA G League, and WNBA have ever accomplished this. Also keep in mind that he's never shot above 80% from the line, his highest being 78%. This is how the narrative of LeBron running from late game free throws started. NBA analysts like Colin Cowherd and Skip Bayless,
I am back! What it do, baby?
tried to discredit LeBron's claim to greatness by saying things like he's not clutch and runs from late game situations, even though LeBron stays consistent with a 75% free throw shooting clutch moments in the regular season and playoffs. He had Kyle Korver and such help him improve his form, but he hasn't shot above 80% yet. Since joining LA though, his free throw shooting has consistently improved, starting at 67% and currently standing at 76%. At this pace, he could reach his goal in the coming season. Second, the playoffs. 17 consecutive years LeBron had made the playoffs. In the first half of his first season with the Lakers, he was 4th in the West. Bear in mind, this was a team constructed of players under 25. A team where there were debates on whether the starting point guard should be Lonzo Ball or Rajon Rondo. Neither of them could average 10 points and they were arguably the second best player on the team. It took LeBron getting a major injury in order for them to significantly lose their positioning. Without LeBron, they won 6 out of 17 games and missed the playoffs regardless of LeBron going 0-30. Fortunately, they had bounced back the next year after some major trades and a global crisis. They had managed to win a championship in the strangest year ever. Just for the following season to come and construct a better team than the year before, just get kicked out of the playoffs in the first round by a team who hadn't been in the playoffs for 10 plus years. No, I believe it was 10 years. And in the next season they wouldn't make the playoffs in its entirety. The main point is, LeBron has vowed that he will never miss the playoffs again. Now for someone who did it for 15 plus years straight and is arguably just as good as he was back then, I wouldn't be shocked if he stuck to his promise. But in order to do that, I believe he has to give up at some point when he's still effective on the court. He's been getting more and more injuries starting recently, and though his performance on the court hasn't dipped, it might be a sign that his body can't go forever. The oldest player to ever play in the NBA was Nat Hickey at age 45, and he was 2 days removed from turning 46. If LeBron wants to beat this record, he'd be playing for almost another decade. So the question is, can LeBron be effective enough to stay on the court for another 7 to 8 years and make the playoffs? Finally, the main factor that goes into LeBron's retirement, LeBron James Jr., commonly referred to as Bronny James. LeBron has clearly and blatantly stated that he wants to play at least one season with his firstborn.
Who do you want to play with?
Bronny is number 1 on my fucking list.
That's dope.
He's number 1 on my list that I want to play with for
You want him
sure.
to beat you? You think?
Nah, he can't beat me.
Hey, Bronny,
Nah.
beat your daddy, man.
Not too long ago, I said, I asked him, I said, what you want to do with this? Like you want to get to the pros? What you want to do? He's like, yeah. I said, why? He said, because I want to make a name for myself.
But not only that, he stated that he wants to play alongside him, meaning that whatever team drafts Bronny also gets LeBron James. Bronny was born in the final quarter of 2004, meaning he's eligible for the draft in 2024. That keeps LeBron in the league for at least 2 more years. But the major question is Bronny getting drafted? Bronny's college eligibility was called into question when he joined FaZe in August 2021. But luckily for Bronny, the NCAA changed the rules on players making money from their likeness the month prior to his joining. So the question is he good enough? The alleged 6'4" guard dropped 31 places in the ESPN rankings over the summer, and with his college scouting being a mystery, we don't know what route he's going to take in order to impress NBA scouts. When Bronny was 14, he was allegedly offered a scholarship by Duke, but the legitimacy of sending a 14-year-old a scholarship is questionable, especially since it's all rumors. That recent draft pick Anthony Simons, he could stay in high school for another year and perform well enough to get drafted. However, the likelihood of him getting drafted earlier is either boosted by the fact that teams will want LeBron James to come play for them, or decreased by the competition Bronny played against. The G League has been a recent question to a lot of the young players, but it seems unlikely as there has been no mention of it, though it would develop Bronny nicely, playing and training against similar competition to his father. With the information I just presented, here's how I believe LeBron James' career is going to end out. First, he's going to re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers for another 2 years. With recent trade rumors such as Kyrie to the Lakers, I believe this is his best chance to get into the playoffs and possibly winning another ring, so he's staying on the Lakers. This is probably his best chance to increase his free throw, as the defense scrambling to guard AD, Kyrie and LeBron will likely result in more free throws, and assuming he's improving, will let him reach his goal. After finishing off his contract in LA, he enters the offseason and see how Bronny gets drafted. If the team drafts Bronny high, it means that either weren't good to begin with, or tanking, i.e. Golden State. But we've seen how teams conform around LeBron. So, theoretically, if the GM constructs a young team, they could make the playoffs, even if it's just free playing. The chance of LeBron signs a 4-year deal with his team is low, so I believe he's going to sign a 3-year with a player option, and in his final year either completely retire from the game, leaving us with the greatest legacy the NBA has ever seen, or return to a former team to end out his career. In conclusion, my deduction leads me to believe that LeBron will retire in the 27-28 season, ending a 24-year career, being able to play 3 seasons with his son Bronny and 1 season with his middle child Bryce James. Let me know if you think I'm right, and let me know what you think LeBron's accolades are going to be. I think it's going to be fucking crazy, that's what I fucking know. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't. Subscribe if you want, and I'm done. Okay, bye.